Hey, Anthony.
Hello.
So we're continuing FATCA series, and today we're talking about FATCA filing, expats versus domestic.
Yeah, can you believe it? There's an IRS form that depends if you have to file it or not. Depends on whether you live in the U.S. or you live outside of the U.S. So that can be kind of confusing.
Yeah, there's a depends for everything for the IRS.
Lord, is that true?
So quickly, we'll say FATCA is the Federal Account Tax Compliance Act. It's the U.S. law. It's requiring all U.S. taxpayers to report their non-U.S. financial accounts yearly. And this law applies to those living outside of the U.S., so that's why we'll talk about the different filing requirements. So there's different thresholds. The first form we'll talk about is Form 8938, and there's a bunch of different thresholds.
Right.
And I would like to say I've memorized these, but I have not.
Really?
No. The IRS made it a little murky here, so I'll start with number one.
Okay. Well, by the way, the law does apply to both those who live in the U.S. and those who live outside.
Exactly. Okay, so number one, if you're single or file separately from your spouse and you have more than $50,000 of specified foreign financial assets at the end of the tax year, or if you had more than $75,000 at any time during the tax year and you live in the U.S.
Oh boy, that's pretty annoying. And now we're going to talk about in a later one of the videos we'll be doing in this series will be what counts as a specified foreign financial asset too. Because the answer, for some things, a bank account, that's pretty easy to figure out. But then there's other things that you need to be aware of too.
Right, real estate, no. Bank account, yes. Well, real estate depends.
Well, maybe. Yeah, that's why it's just like depends. Yeah.
All right, so we'll stay with those living in the U.S. If you file jointly with your spouse and have more than $100,000 of specified foreign financial assets at the end of the tax year, or more than $150,000 at any time during the tax year, and you live in the U.S.
Right, at any time more than 150. Right.
Yes.
I mean, wow.
Right. So now let's move on to expats.
Right. So we just covered those living in the U.S. Now we're moving on to expats.
And when we talk about expats, we talk about U.S. citizens living in a foreign country.
U.S.
Persons.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so for expats, if you're single or file separately from your spouse and have more than $200,000 of specified foreign financial assets on the last day of the tax year, or more than $300,000 at any time during the tax year and you live abroad. If you file jointly with your spouse and you have more than $400,000 of specified foreign financial assets on the last day of the tax year, or more than $600,000 at any time during the tax year, and you live abroad, asterisk, even if only one spouse resides abroad. So if one of you's abroad, then you would go with this. Right?
Yes.
Yep.
And as you're going through it, it's that, and again, this is on top of any FBAR form, FinCEN form 114 you have to file. And I guess they put in these higher thresholds than the FBAR, which is $10,000 for aggregates for foreign financial accounts. Mm-hmm. And 8938 is for things other than foreign financial accounts, for financial assets. They're doing this, I guess, to make life easier. But do you think here's my suggestion? Just here's my suggestion.
Okay.
Just make one form. Mm-hmm. Okay. Give me everything that's worth. Do you have more than $10,000? If we add up all your stuff overseas, is it worth more than $10,000? Okay, list it all. Thank you.
There you go. Just
one form.
Done and done.
Because there's overlap. There's some things that you do have to do, and then you could easily imagine like, no, I don't have to file an 8938. My account never goes over this threshold. You forget about it, and 1 year there was, oh wait, that's right. And now you can be penalty. The 8938 penalty is $10,000. FBAR can be 50% of the account value if something goes wrong.
Now with an 8938, if you don't have to file an income tax return for that tax year, then you don't need to do an 8938 regardless of the value of the accounts.
Right, which is really ridiculous because what happens if you made a mistake you didn't think you needed to file a tax return because you thought your income fell below a threshold? You get in the habit of never filing it. You're not worried about it. So I would say, you're trying to make it easy for everyone. Well, do I have to or do I not have to? Just make it for everybody. It's not helping. They're not helping at all.
No, they're not.
It's just really, really complicated to do.
The last complicated thing about Form 8938, we wanted to mention that some foreign pensions may be included in this. We could probably have a whole nother episode about foreign pensions, but basically we want to say there's a risk. You have to sort of know what you're doing.
Well, because your foreign pension may go on Form 8938, or it may go on 3520 and or 3520A, or I shouldn't say and or it could be an and 3520A. And if it does, then you don't put it on 8938, but you do put a note that it belongs on there. So, I mean, you see, it's like just give us a list of everything because we want to know because we want
We
to.
just want to know.
We
want to.
Yeah, we want to. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so are the filing requirements, we mentioned FBAR already, are the filing requirements the same for those living in the U.S. and expats? It's $10,000.
For FBAR. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So right.
Form 8938.
Right. It depends on where you live. FBAR doesn't matter where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely sensible.
Right.
And the last thing that sort of stinks about both of these is that you must report your assets in U.S. dollars. So you need to convert foreign currency in order to determine. And we've already mentioned before, you don't get a nice clean 10 W-2 when you live overseas.
Yeah,
So
you don't get a 1098 saying, "Oh, here's your U.S. withholding." You don't get reports.
you don't get that.
Right.
So you've got to create your own reports and then make sure you do the foreign conversion.
And I guess make sure you don't make an error too, because that does happen.
Good luck.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to continue our FATCA series. We are going to talk more about these penalties, more about what the specified foreign financial assets are. You can like and comment below, and you can also subscribe to our channel so you get updates when we continue talking about awesome tax things. Thanks for watching. IRS Medic, the law offices of Parent and Parent, LLP. Real tax attorneys for tough tax problems.